A month of division. Since taking office, President Trump's policies and rhetoric have divided America, with the rift appearing to grow even wider. Also ahead this RT News Hour, the Munich Security Conference is marred by money matters, with America and Europe at loggerheads over who should pick up the bill for NATO's expenses. And later in the program, we hear from the Russian photo correspondent who won the prestigious World Press Photo Award for his images of the conflict in eastern Ukraine. Live from Moscow to the world, this is RT International. Ewan O'Neill with you from our news centre in the Russian capital. Hello and welcome. It has been 30 days since the new US president took office, a time of massive division over his policies. Caleb Maupin looks now at the main issues during what's been a turbulent month.
So we're 30 days into Donald Trump's administration. The new president says he's accomplished an awful lot in these crucial weeks and gone as far as to call out those he says have underestimated him.
Plants and factories are already starting to move back into the United States. I have directed our defense community to submit a plan for the defeat of ISIS, and we have imposed new sanctions on the nation of Iran. I've ordered plans to begin for the massive rebuilding of the United States military. We've undertaken the most substantial border security measures.
But let's be fair, he hasn't exactly brought the country together. Since he's taken office, a lot of Americans seem a lot angrier, and political views seem far more polarized. His nominees might not have been popular on the other side of the aisle, but the Democrats have been unable to block them.
Democrats, they've screwed things up royally.
It is time to get over the fact that they lost the election. I think they look quite foolish.
I'm very disappointed in this type of crap. I mean, my gosh, there's no excuse for it. I think they ought to stop posturing and acting like idiots.
But Trump did lose his national security advisor, Michael Flynn. A campaign against Flynn, accusing him of being too friendly to Russia, seems to have worked. The White House is accusing the intelligence community of orchestrating the offensive that ultimately toppled him.
Shadow of Moscow seems to haunt President Trump.
Donald Trump's national security advisor resigns just 24 days into a key role in the new administration. The price you pay for misleading the vice president over your contacts with a Russian diplomat.
These investigations have got to show the connection and prove that collusion, because as for me, I think it leads to impeachment.
And then there's Donald Trump's war with the media. At this point, the mainstream press is no fan of the Donald. But then again, neither are the American people. However, Donald Trump's tendency to play rough with the press seems to be helping him.
The world's shining light of democracy has gone dark.
You know, I have a running war with the media.
I think the content of what he said was disturbing.
They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
This is one of the most radical inaugural speeches we've ever heard.
The level of dishonesty is out of control. I watch CNN, it's so much anger and hatred.
Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
The two parties are at war with each other. Now, I would argue, as a journalist myself, that it's actually a good thing for the media to have an adversarial relationship with the President of the United States and with the U.S. government. They should have had one with Obama, and they should have had one with George W. Bush, but they didn't. This is a couple hundred years too late, but better late than never, I would say.
Keep in mind that we're only 30 days in, and already Trump and the anti-Trump team are willing to play outside the rule book. If this mindset continues, the game could get even more extreme. Caleb Maupin, RT California.
Well, the war on fake news is raging, and there's a new chapter in the conflict. The Associated Press news agency has run a story based on an American government memo it obtained. In it, there were calls for a number of measures, including the mobilization of troops to round up illegal immigrants. Shortly after, though, a Washington journalist tweeted a response he'd received from the White House, saying the idea was not going to be introduced. Well, AP insists the draft memo had been circulated among Homeland Security staff for the past 2 weeks. But White House spokesman Sean Spicer has already dismissed the report, adding that Homeland Security had confirmed it as, quote, 100% false. We asked former Donald Trump advisor and best-selling author Roger Stone how the ongoing conflict may change the balance of press power in the future.
Based on technological advances, a majority of people now get their news from their handheld device, no longer from a television set. And because of that, access to the internet, which would be required to go watch television on your handheld device, opens the door to numerous alternatives to the main 3 television networks and the 2 cable networks. Thus, the alternative media now is being disproportionately watched and listened to by the American people. This is a healthy thing. ABC, NBC, and CBS had a monopoly on the dissemination of political information for the last 30 years, and it has not served us well. Today, the consumer, the voter, has broader choices, and the power of the media has been demassified. I think this is very positive.
Well, our guest, Roger Stone, spent decades in politics, in close contact with several U.S. presidents. Recently, he was named by the media as one of the individuals who are now being monitored by the FBI over alleged links with Russian intelligence. He told us such accusations are completely false.
The New York Times has reported that the FBI, or more precisely, intelligence agencies, say that they have email transmissions, the transcriptions of overheard conversations, and financial records that prove this. Yet no one in the media, no one on the Senate or House Intelligence Committee, and not the President of the United States has seen any of this alleged proof. So what we have here is an allegation based on the assessment of the intelligence agencies who are holdovers, in this case, from Barack Obama. I categorically deny this. Paul Manafort, the chairman of the Trump campaign, has as well. The real issue here, in my opinion, is that Donald Trump does not want to go to war with the Russian state over Syria. He favors détente and hard-headed negotiations with President Putin in the hopes that we could live in peace and perhaps work together to crush ISIS.